you've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship. So you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.
Architecture TA2 Series, which this weekend comes from an absolutely resplendent pit race circuit just outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm Jonathan Green, alongside me once again, Adam Andretti. We're getting ready for TA2. Behind us is the pole man, Ben Mayer, his second of the year. But Nitro are on a run at the moment. 5 races so far, 4 different winners.
Yeah, I mean, and not all 4 of those wins have gone to Nitro. They've had 3 out of the last 5, though, and one of them came from this young man right here, Ben Mayer.
What, Worldwide Technology?
At Worldwide Technology, and he did it from this spot. And this is another place a lot like that, very challenging to pass. So is this another one of them youngsters we're going to see come through here and go to the NASCAR ranks and show them how it's done like they did yesterday in Sonoma?
Certainly bodes well. And in terms of the championship, 28 points between our championship leader, Rafa Matos. Everybody's coming into the unknown here. We have never had a TA2 race, and that's where Rafa tends to shine. He knows tracks and learns them quickly, but 28 points between him and Merrill. Are we in for another classic rundown to Coda, do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, this TA2 class is as competitive as it's ever been, and Rafa Matos is on his game like he always has been. By far the most creative driver that you'll ever experience when you start comparing your data to. He does things that are pretty special in a car that if you try to emulate, you're not Rafa Matos, and you find out real quick.
Now, an interesting story. Obviously, Adam's going to be racing in TA later in the day, but he's already shaken down Thomas Annunziata's car because he was at the Xfinity race last night in Sonoma. They flew him in. He's had the car shaken down, but he starts at the back, but he needs to score points, so it's all on the line here at Pitt Race. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Ben Sissel will walk us through the grid. How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn, 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Welcome back to the grid here at Pitt Race Speed Tour. Beautiful race complex. Ben Mayer has run here in a Miata, but not in a race. Second time to be on the pole. Your crew's yelling at us that you need to get in the car, but how you feeling being here at pole?
I'm feeling really great about this weekend. I won from pole at Worldwide Technology, so I think this could turn out as a really good race for me. I won at Worldwide Technology with Ron because Brad couldn't be there. He had some family things he needed to do, so I'm still trying to get a win for Brad, and hopefully that happens today.
Nice. Yeah, Brad unfortunately wasn't at Worldwide. We did a shout-out to him, though, on TV, so nice job. Congratulations. Now, something I want to point out here is we've got Nitro in first and third, so they're going to line up one behind the other with Rafa, but then we've got Silver here second and fourth, so they're going to be behind each other. So we might have some teams working here. And speaking of Silver Hair Racing, Jake Drew has been fast here all weekend at a new track that the TA2 Series, Q3 Architecture TA2 Series, hasn't run here. It's a beautiful facility, but we just don't know how it's going to race.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. But I feel like we had a really strong shot today. My Silver Hair Chevrolet has been on point all weekend. I felt like I made a little bit of a mistake there in qualifying, but looking to put together 36 real strong laps here and see where we end up.
So you've got your teammate Connor Mosak behind you, but Ben Mayer has the leader in the TA2 Series, Rafa Matos, behind him. This is kind of the first time we've seen that. Is there any kind of teammate workery that we can do here at the start of the race?
I don't think so. I think the name of the game is just getting through the first turn clean and knowing that we got a lot of laps and a lot of time until this race is ending. So we ain't going to win it in the first turn, so there's no point in making all kinds of plans. Just make it through, and we'll go have fun, and we'll go race after that.
Nice. I love it. Well, Jake Drew, then we've got our points leader right now, and this is a crazy points, but we've got 2 pole awards here. We've got Rafa Matos. Rafa did tell me that he tested an F3 car here with FR a few years ago, but nobody knows how this track is going to race.
Yeah, it's a question mark, right? So first time here at Pittsburgh, great track, great facility. We're sitting third, leading the points, 30 points ahead of Thomas. Thomas is not having a really good weekend, so it could be a good points day for us. We got to keep it clean. There's a couple cars ahead of us, fast cars, so we got to try to go around those guys. But again, we got to keep finishing races. If we win, finish on the podium, it's just a big bonus for us.
I love it, Rafa Matos. And if anybody knows how to win championships, it's our 2-time championship winner there, Rafa Matos. But check this out. We've got 2 drivers. Get together. This is kind of neat. Different teammates, but Connor Mosak starting behind his teammate, Jake Drew, and then Adrian Lostowski. What do you guys think of Pit Race? I am absolutely in love with this place.
Yeah, it's a cool place. It's we were just talking about how it's a tough place to be consistent. You know, there's some blind corners here, and if you miss them by just a little bit, it kills you the whole straightaway. So we're just talking about that and how to minimize that in the race.
Now, Adrian's somewhat kind of geographically close to this place, but you haven't really run here except in your Corvette years and years ago.
Yeah, I totally forgot the track from years ago, so we're had to relearn it during all the practices and all the qualifying and stuff like that. Still trying to get it fine-tuned. Like we were talking, there's a few corners here that if you miss them by just a few inches, you're done. It's like exponential, so just being on your marks here is going to be a big thing. Yep.
Well, there's our top 5, but we got to come over here and talk about some local heroes. So, Penn State football player, lives in the state of Pennsylvania near Philadelphia, but played football at Penn State before drafted to the NFL. Now here at Pitt Race. This has got to be kind of a cool homecoming. It's such a cool facility.
Yeah, it's awesome. So many people are coming out from my hometown. It's kind of annoying. No, I'm joking, but it was good. It's good seeing people. This is an awesome track. People have their different opinions about this place, but I love it. And it was one of my first races here in SCCA, one of my first wins, and I'm excited to get back out here and compete.
Nice. Well, there you go. Make us proud. Jared Odrick, Penn State. So let's just walk through here. I have a little bit of time left, but Michelle Abadi. Then we've got the Ray Skillman Auto Group, Eric Caton. But then I got to talk about Annunziata, who raced last night at Sonoma Raceway with Xfinity, somehow made it here. And then Chris Durbin, our Pro-Am, he's got our camera car, so watch out for him. Chris Durbin from Pittsburgh. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be really cool to see him. The stick. So we've got a great grid here, TA2, Cube 3 Architecture. Aaron is out here racing TA2. But Jonathan, Adam, I'm going to send it back up to you to go through the grid for us.
Thanks, Ben. Yep, a nice little insight into what we've got in front of us and who we've got racing with us this weekend. And it really is a great field of both youth and experience, from Rafa Matos, a 2-time winner, to, of course, the young Ben Mayer, his teammate. And it is Ben Mayer, his second pole of the year, alongside Jake Drew. So Silver Hair versus Nitro should be good. Rafa Matos starts on row 2 alongside Connor Mosak, and you can never count out. So it's going to be a real battle between Nitro and Silver Hair. Lostowski and Hurley on row 3, then Tyler Casera, another local man from Mannerheim, alongside Texan Barry Bowes on row 4. Carson Quapple on row 5, Thomas Merrill, second in the championship, down by 28 points. He needs to come forward here does Thomas Merrill. Then it's Tommy Sheehan in the Pro-Am. Caleb Bacon needs to get a good start. His qualifying has been his Achilles heel, according to the team. Michel Abate and Jared Odrick, you heard from him just a moment ago, his home race as well from Pennsylvania. Chris Durbin from South Hills here in Pennsylvania, just south of Pittsburgh. Eric Caton on row 8, then Annunziata and Jim Gallagher. And the great story of Annunziata going from coast to coast overnight to be here. But big story for Annunziata is that he is chasing a lead in the Young Guns, of course, and so he doesn't want to stop scoring points by any means. So an important race all the same, even though he leads at the moment by 34 points over Ben Mayer, who starts pole. So we'll keep an eye on how far Thomas can side his way through and not lose too many points to Ben Mayer. But I say that because I've seen him do it before and get right to the front, so never count him out. Smaller field here for Pittsburgh, and that just might bring others like Barry Bowes into the picture for a good result here. It's a big scoring crossover in terms of points. You can score over 100 points for the win, and then there's fastest lap and pole position points as well. So there's all sorts of ways of making it happen here, and everybody getting a good view. Here, that's the best part, I think, of this circuit, is that there's so many good viewing spots. It's a bit like VIR. It rolls through the hills, and so you can sit anywhere you like, and you can get a good perch. Let's head down to Ben Sissel.
Thank you, Jonathan. I'm here with our new Trans Am fans. Augie's been here all weekend, but you guys delivered the most famous words in motorsports. Take it away.
Drivers, start your engines!
So, right when they came to me,
So the engines fire up, and that means that Adam Andretti, of course, is in his perch and ready to go. We've seen you in TA2, we've seen you in TA this year. So therefore, you've been up close and personal with this grid. And I'm saying it's a real combination of youth and experience, isn't it? You've got the Ben Mayers, who are barely, out of their short trousers at 15 in pole position, and then you've got Rafa Matos, who's looking for his third title.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes this TA2, Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series so special. One of the many things is the depth of talent and the broad range of talent. You have youngsters as young as Ben Mayer, but I mean you can climb up that entire ladder of youngsters, through Jake Drew, through Thomas Annunziata, through Carson Guapel. These are the also individuals. Then you got the crafty veteran Tyler Casera, who we're just looking at there. His next door neighbor here on the grid being Thomas Merrill. So some definitely wonderful mix.
And, of course, we welcome our viewers to Pit Race on MAV TV. Welcome all to a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. The rain that was supposed to come has not, and we are getting ready, as you can see, for TA2. And so far, 4 different winners from the 5 races so far. But Nitro Motorsports coming in on a real high. They've won the last 3 races, and Ben Mayer was one of those winners last time out from the pole at Worldwide Technology in St. Louis. So Mayer looking to do that again, but in terms of the championship, Matos leads Merrill, who did not get the qualifying he wanted. Merrill down in 9th position, and therefore Matos looking to try to get a top 3. There's confirmation of the championship. 28 points between the 2 leaders. Thomas Annunziata is on the back foot somewhat. He's 3rd overall and leading the way in the rookies, in the Young Guns, ahead of Ben Mayer. So we'll watch to see. You shook the car down. How is it, and how hard is this to do? Because you've had something like this to do before in the past, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's always a humbling experience for to be trusted from the Annunziatas, to be put behind the wheel, to be the guy that phone rings for. It's a very humbling experience. I think they're a great family. I have nothing but admiration for Thomas's talents and where his future is going to take him. Nitro Motorsports and Nick Tucker are doing the job. They're doing an excellent job. I got to see it up close and personal, and I'll get to see it even more up close and personal again at our All-Star
in a few
event.
hours.
Well, and an All-Star event
coming
July 19th at Lime Rock Park. So this is this is all really good stuff, and looking for Thomas. He'll come from that tail because that's a really good race car.
Well, in terms of this track, not many have seen it before, but one man who has and started here from Manheim in Pennsylvania, Tyler Casera. He took us round the track.
This is Tyler Casera, driver of number 40 Nitro Motorsports Ford Mustang. Here's a lap of Pittsburgh International Race Complex. Turn 1 here is a blind apex. A lot of fun, a lot of elevation here. Down the back straightaway, great passing opportunity into turn 3 and 4. I really like the bowl coming up here. Car compresses really hard. Good passing opportunity, and you can get up out of this. Big elevation, come back down the hill into the S's. You gotta be really patient, really flat, but then it starts to pick up elevation, and we're blind on some of these apexes. Another passing opportunity here into 12. Again, another big hill we got to go up and over for 14 and down the back straightaway. Top speed here on the back straightaway through 16, which is a really fast corner. Hard on the brakes for 17. Another good passing opportunity. And then we get off the corner and down the front straightaway, and that's a lap of Pittsburgh International Race Complex.
Great to have Tyler Casera back to racing, and of course this is his home race, and family are here looking forward to this, and it's a real touch of nervousness a little bit for Tyler, because he's been coaching the kids effectively at Nitro Motorsport, but now he's got to walk the walk and talk the talk, because he's back in the car. He hasn't been back in the car since, Virginia last year, so there's a little bit of cobwebs, I'm sure. He's qualified 8th. He's not out of it by any means, but he knows this track like the back of his hand.
He does. This is one of his home tracks, one of the tracks that he's got so many laps at, and he shows it, and he's an amazing coach. As far as a driver, he's got a lot of respect, but also as a coach, with Jared Odrick right here is another. He made the move over to Nitro Motorsports and got to work with Tyler this weekend, and Jared's performance has come up. So coaching, I say it all the time. Tom Brady, arguably the best quarterback, was definitely statistically ever to live. Had a coach all the way up to the end of his career, right? And race car drivers, for some reason, we feel like we don't need them, but coaching is so important here. And Tyler is one of those really, really exceptional coaches, and I think Nitro Motorsports and Nick Tucker know how lucky they are to have him there, and he gets the reward to get behind the wheel of these things. And you're looking at Barry Bowes here, I believe, with that pole position in Pro-Am. He takes the Pro-Am championship lead there for SLR, which is pretty cool to see. So we'll see, I think, a really good run out of Barry here today, looking on his onboard. Yeah, in fact, we'll be on board with the ASTIO data of Barry Bowes, but as you saw, there's the Pro-Am championship. Barry Bowes currently second behind Keith Prochuk, Tommy Sheehan. It's a good battle, and I think a good idea to open up this, if you like, Pro-Am challenge. And it's really made a big difference to the likes of Tommy and Jared Odrick, who really do have something to race for now. No question. Now, going back to our pole man, Ben Mayer, will be on board with the Amazoil Chris Durbin, local man from South Hills in Pennsylvania. So we'll watch out for the 25, see how he comes through. But I just want to mention Ben Mayer, second pole position after Worldwide Technology. He came here last month with his old Miata. He used to be in the Miata Championship. Talking of which, Zilic got a breakthrough win last night in the Mazda MX-5 Cup, his first ever win at Mid-Ohio. So we'll give a shout out to him. As you can see, they are lining up 2 by 2, ready to go. But interestingly enough, Ben Mayer in that red and black couldn't find the track on iRacing, wanted to do a bunch of sims, couldn't find it on iRacing, had to pick out a few other games, but finally found it and has been on the sim all week. Yeah, and I tell you, these to get into Miata and go around here, and I know that's a lot of the experience that also Tyler Casera has around here, but I say it all the time, these Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series cars, they're 550 horsepower Miatas, right? They're momentum cars, but they have enough power and not enough tire that you have to be careful with that, and that's what makes them such a good training tool and such a good elevation tool. It looks like we're going to come to green here, Jonathan. Yeah, Green. And they are filed up perfectly. This is exactly what we wanted to do. We've had a bit of concertinaing in the background, but we had a meeting yesterday, and it looks as though they've sorted that out. And away we go. Ben Mayer gets a good start from the pole on the inside. They'll all, though, try to jostle for position. I can see Merrill already trying to make up a few places early on. Ben Mayer squeezed right at the start there, but somehow holds on, but he's going to lose that lead by the looks of things to Jake Drew. Yeah, he went to protect and cover up. Jake Drew coming in, and Rafa Matos, being the crafty Rafa Matos yes. He is, went and snuck his nose in. But is Ben going to take a stab here in turn 3? No. Very close indeed. Not able to clear it. Rafa lets him a little room.
Lostowski in third at the moment as they head down to the pole for the first time.
Adrian got a great start, was able to take advantage. The same with Thomas Merrill. They made great advancements on the grid, and a track like we have here at Pitt Race, very difficult to pass. That's going to be really, really important, to get this track position early, Jonathan.
Yeah, and that's exactly, as you say, sneaky through there by Rafa Matos. Great way to get the start, but 36 laps. And I thought what Jake Giroux said to Ben earlier on the grid was quite appropriate, which was, look, you can't win the race in the first lap. And yes, we could work together as teammates. But, really, let's just get through the first corners. It's a long way to go, 36 laps, 100 miles. Let's let it settle down. What do you think? You've been out there, the attrition rate. What's the track surface like? Will it wear the tires out or not?
Yeah, we're experiencing in both TA and TA2 a pretty high level of tire deg. So it's like it always is in this kind of class of racing. We start on the tire we qualify on. So you have to take care of this tire. You had to take care of it yesterday in qualifying, get your laps in, park it when you know that you're not going to get any more time like everyone really did. And you even saw some cars forfeit their starting position so they could put on new tires. And I think that's one of the advantages that the 90 car of Thomas Annunziata is going to find today. He's already up to P12 after just 2 laps. So this is a really good showing on that. But yeah, new tires are going to be really important here as you're looking at Barry Bowes right there behind Connor Mosak.
Biggest move is Annunziata, as you mentioned, in 12th there. But look at that, Thomas Merrill up to 4th. And I said to him, he needs to score points. 28 points the difference. He started 9th, but look at him there in the HP Tuners Cope car, the famous 26. And, of course, HP Tuners will be represented at the Canadian Grand Prix this weekend with Piastri qualifying well as well. So a good weekend so far for HP Tuners, but Merrill getting away well.
Yeah, Merrill, it's been admittedly a struggle since Road Atlanta. He won Road Atlanta in a dominant form, and I even said to him this morning, I said, I thought this was going to be one of those Thomas Merrill rolls, and he goes, me too. And then he struggled at Lime Rock last time out, and he's never struggled there, right? That's become Thomas Merrill's playground, has been Lime Rock Park the last few years. So they really dissected that car. They tore that car down last night, and they found some things. So this, to me, after talking to Thomas, not a big surprise from this Mike Cope Racing crew. And I know Mike Cope's at home right now watching with some intent, and he's watching with some excitement as well, because he knows that his group that he has so carefully picked and put out here is doing the job that they need to do to keep Thomas in the fight for this championship.
Yeah, and it's a big battle between the teams, of course, and each and every one of these teams has brought several cars. As Ben Mayer, look at them lining up. This is great. Lostowski getting a great start. Merrill's still there in 4th. He's trying to hold off Drew. Casera's in the top 6. Josh Hurley. Casera and Hurley, the two eSport combatants, right next to each other on track. Then it's Bacon. Mosak moving up to 8th now, ahead of Bacon. Quapple down in, 10th position. Oh, and a spin!
Oh, Adrian, and he's run. He was so strong. Thomas stuck the nose up there. Adrian is a driver, gentleman, as you know, that you can run side by side with. Thomas stuck his nose up there clean and fair and square. And Jake Drew tried to follow him through, and Adrian, I think, went to go shut that door a little bit, and I think that came together. Really rough deal. Hate to see that for Adrian. What a great, great run.
No question about it. Matos leads, but a spin from Lostowski. Yeah, I just saw some grass, Adam, and maybe you could tell me. This reminds me of Mid-Ohio, where if you do pick grass up or it gets onto the track, it's easy to get in the grill, and then you start worrying about overheating.
Absolutely. I mean, this is, we go to certain tracks that are like that, and they always have one thing in common, and that's beautiful, beautiful grounds like we have here at Pitt. When it's really well manicured and stuff like that, but the grass will come out on the track, and if you scoop that up, these splitters are like shovels for that, and they scoop that right up. So that's why you'll see a lot of these cars. They have 2 openings. They have a bottom opening and a top opening for that radiator, and that's really why, is so that if the bottom does get a little bit, that you're not completely closing off and choking the airflow into the front. It's the sun is shining bright, but the ambient temperature is not horribly hot here, so the cars are breathing some decently cool air. And as I'm watching Adrian pull up the tail, just again heartbroken for him. His sponsor is here, CMI. Danny is here, and I know they wanted to have that showing, and And I am gutted to see what happened there. And at the same time, the stewards are probably not going to look favorably upon that with Jake Drew, especially how the conversations went in drivers' meetings. So I hate it too, because I see a pretty good run by Jake possibly getting flawed by that one, that one basically incident that brought them two together. So really 2 races. Probably hurt there, and it's a shame, because it was going to be really good. Now the big beneficiary of that, Thomas Merrill, right? He puts himself back on the box there, and we have a Cope car all top 3.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive as we take a look at the number 7, Jake Drew, losing some positions, and we'll see what the stewards say as who was the fault for turning around Lostowski, but a bright start all the same. And yeah, 3rd place at the moment from Merrill. You can see from above just exactly how close he is. So, with 3 laps gone, Matos, Mayer, Merrill. That's your top 3, the 3 M's, and it's looking good. Drew in 4th position, but we did have that spin of Lostowski.
And I was saying, when I say the top 3 are Cope, it's not Cope cars out of the camp. The top 2 are obviously Nitro cars, but Cope chassis.
Yeah. Here's another look at it. What's your thoughts?
I honestly, I would call that as a racing incident. I mean, it's the door was open. You're not going to blame Jake Drew for going for that open door. At the same time, track position, so important. So Adrian, knowing that, was trying to close the door to not open the door for another spot, and it's a tough call, honestly. I definitely don't want to be Tim Richter right now, our chief steward, because that is one of the toughest calls I've seen in our paddock in quite some time to have to make.
Got to keep an eye on Thomas Annunziata. What a weekend it's turned out to be. Did the Xfinity last night for JD Motorsports. Didn't turn out too well, but now look at him. Just behind this battle, there he is, the number 90, in the top 10. He's behind Caleb Bacon already, so he's caught up a bunch of places, having started at the back, but that's what we expect from Thomas Annunziata, the New Jersey kid, doing the business right now. Got a new sponsor as well this weekend, and so we'll keep an eye out for Annunziata as he tries to side his way through the Nitro Motorsports Ford Mustang.
He made a great move there, following the 28 car of Carson Quapple up through Caleb Bacon there, and kind of letting him kind of pick through the field for him a little bit, because Carson Quapple is another one of those just amazing young, for lack of a better word, freak of nature talents that we have here in this great Cube 3 Architecture TA2 class. And, this is why Nick from Cube 3 Architecture is so in love with this class, is these youngsters. But at the same time, he's got the affection for the youngsters, and that's what brought him in. But through that, he has got so much respect for the veterans and what the veterans are teaching these youngsters. We here in Trans Am, in this class of racing, we represented 3 out of the top 5 in yesterday's Sonoma Xfinity race.
Wow.
And a real great shout out to Sheldon Creed, to Sam Mayer, and to Austin Green. Awesome job. And we'll see Austin Green in a couple weeks at Mid-Ohio, back in that 3-dimensional Ford Mustang. So
you'll be up against him, will you?
Well, I'll be up against him. I'm gonna have to fight him. And that 41 Ultimate Headers Chevrolet Camaro we got, but we got a good package underneath us as well. But here we're a pit race. We can't get too far ahead of us. We got to keep our head where our feet are, Jonathan.
No kidding. And I tell you what, the feet of Annunziata are working hard as flames pour out the side of that number 90. Bayshore Mortgage is his new sponsor. And so this is a man on the up and up. There's no question about it. So impressive this season, and already starting to be noticed by the NASCAR teams and starting to get opportunities. Great to see Connor Zilic also making his way, although choosing Miata this last weekend. Brent Cruz has been on the dirt. So all of our both graduates and regulars are getting chances. Austin Green, you mentioned, he'll be back, and he too was 4th yesterday at Sonoma. So we are absolutely changing the world from Trans Am's point of view, because we're racing all over the world, including Australia, New Zealand, and of course here in the US of A. And Annunziata still trying to make up some more places. He's up to 9th. He got ahead of Bacon, so he's come from the back up to 9th. Quapolo turning out to be quite a hard competitor to beat here. No surprises. He's got similar experience has Quapple.
Yeah, and I mean, Carson is a second-generation driver.
Yeah,
his father, Travis.
Champion,
I mean, and Travis, had a great career in NASCAR, Nothing explosive about his career. You know what? I look at the Quapples a lot like the stock car racing's version of the Verstappen family. Right? Jos was very well respected, very stout driver, just didn't have that explosive career. But the kid, the young boy Max, is explosive, and we see that same thing in Carson. He is explosive, and he's going to be someone that again, we're going to watch with great interest as Adrian is climbing his way through the field. I also want to give a shout-out to Tom Sheehan as he has taken the Pro-Am lead. He is sitting there in P11 in that Vixen Motorcycles Ford Mustang for Cope Racing. They were really confident about that race car. Even, I tell you, Thomas Merrill was saying that car has been a hot rod all weekend long under the heels of Tom Sheehan. So big shout-out to Tom. He is Mr. TA2. Nobody has done more races in this class than him, and to see his success like we're seeing it this year in this Pro-Am class has been a lot of fun to watch.
I mentioned earlier this track does get used as a test track, and that's how Carson Quapple got to know that. He came here with SLR and Scott Lagacy and did some testing here, but racing's very different than testing, as you, I'm sure, attest to. But this has been a great story. He qualified second at Mid-Ohio in his first ever Trans Am race, finished fifth in that, and big opportunity for him. He's already had top fives in his three NASCAR Infinity races with JR Motorsports, got second at Dover and fourth at Martinsville. So Quapple definitely one to watch, and it's no wonder that Annunziata is struggling just a little bit to try and get past, because he's got good pedigree.
And for stock car racing fans, just think about that for a second. I mean, only a few starts, and he finished fourth at Martinsville.
I know.
This is not like...
Well, and second at Dover. I know that's a completely different kettle of fish.
Dover's crazy. Like, I'd never been there before. Now we got to fight for the lead here. The youngster, the teenager, the
apprentice, exactly.
You know, behind the master. You know, at this point too, like Rafa is he's coaching the kid without sitting with a notebook and a piece of paper and a pen, right?
Yeah.
He's literally coaching this kid because he's showing him all the secrets. He's showing him how you keep a car behind you, showing him how you play defense properly, make a wide car, take air off the car where you need it. Look at where he's at. Look at Rafa's position. He wasn't taking advantage of all. He kind of float between that right side there to make the car nice and wide. That is veteran stuff.
Matos, Mayer, and Merrill still your top three, though. Yeah, you're right. I wonder whether Rafa's learning from these kids as much as he's teaching them, because I joked with Tyler Casera, who's also coaching, but part of the role of Rafa joining the Nitro Motorsport team was that he got a bit of a scholarship to be a driver coach to help these kids, and there's many. It's almost a revolving door at Nitro. You've got Tyler Gonzalez, who came in at the beginning of the season. You know, you mentioned that we'll get others back, but we've had, sort of a revolving door in many ways of people trying out, in Trans Am for the first time. And Rafa's there to at least share the data and certainly some expertise.
No, absolutely. I think Rafa sets benchmark data. I think that is the biggest part of what he does as the coaching role over at Nitro, and then Tyler does more of the diagnostics of that coaching, right? Going through the data with each driver, inch by inch, explaining where they could get better and visualizing it for them. And that's the difference. And I think that was something Nick Tucker recognized. We see a battle further back here between, again, this is, I believe, Pro-Am. We've got Eric Clayton and Tom Sheehan here going back and forth. But, yeah, it's one of them deals where I think, to run for a championship like they're doing with Rafa, and have him take on all the coaching roles would be just too much for any individual. So I think really their primary coach is Tyler, and then Tyler's going to get these opportunities to show what his talent is like. He's running strong P5, and I got to tell you, I can't even express how difficult that is. I do this, I come in and do one-offs in this class of racing throughout the year. It is one of the toughest things you can do. I mean, it is. Everyone here is running every week. They're testing. They're doing things that are progressing their program, and then you got to climb in and be a part of that. And then the drivers are just getting so good and so deep here. So this is a great battle between we got here with Sheehan and Caton.
Yeah, good little battle here. And with 9 laps gone of the 36, it's still Matos, Mayer, and Merrill. And as you mentioned, Tyler Casera in 5th place, the man from Manheim in Pennsylvania. Very hard job to do, to come in, coach or no coach, former winner, 2-time winner in Trans Am. He rose to fame, if you like, early in his career coming out of e-racing, and then did the real thing in Virginia. And from there on in, he's been Well, whenever he gets a chance, he's always in the top 5, and that's where he is right now. But it's a big learning curve, I'm sure, for him. He hasn't been in a race car since Virginia last year, Casera. So even though he's coaching, now he can be kind of filtering the information. And even if he just finishes 5th this weekend, he'll be able to bring a bunch of information to the drivers at Nitro.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the thing is, he didn't get a full 100 miles in that VIR either.
No.
He was a victim of a flat tire on that turn, that first lap crash that took out the eventual champion of Brent Cruz. So yeah, it wasn't even like he got that much experience in the car to feel what it feels like over a 100-mile run. So he's going to get that here today. I feel confident. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to just go ahead and throw the shout out at the Pro-Am class. There's been a shakeup. Barry Bowes has retaken that lead. Jared Odrick, P2.
Great stuff.
Right behind. He's trailing just 1.8 behind Barry Bowes, and then you got Tom Sheehan in that last place. And Tom Sheehan and Eric Caton fighting for that last spot in the podium, last spot on the box for the Pro-Ams. And then this is a great battle between Jim Gallagher and Michelle Abada, who again, all season long has been racing with a heavy heart for the loss of her brother Michael, and our thoughts and prayers are with her and her family, and as they navigate a very, very challenging time in their lives, no doubt. And my hat's off to her to put that stuff aside, be able to strap the helmet on, and understand the privilege that she has to be out here and represent what she represents in this class of racing, and for her own career, and the bigger picture for her family.
Back on board with Chris Durbin, the local man. Yeah, Michelle Abate did a nice tribute at Memorial Weekend to her brother Michael, and in fact she was telling me that they've named a bit of the highway after him just outside the Speedway in Las Vegas, so that's a nice touch. And of course her brother passed away this time last year, but is well remembered in Nevada.
Well, and I mean, we all remember the Red Bull driver search, right, with Scott Speed, that put Scott Speed into Formula One. Michael Abate, he was a part of that. He's such a strong driver. He was such a talented driver. Unfortunately, like the sport is, unless you have the financial support to keep going,
it's tough.
And he was he was working hard, as so many young racers were. I know quite a few. That Matt Jaskell's another one, a great friend of the Abate family through that relationship. And so these were all great young drivers that were really needing that scholarship money to continue their careers, and it didn't just pan out, and the card wasn't dealt that way. But Michael went on to serve in public service, and as a police officer and an honorable officer, and that's how we lost the young man. So again, a really, really proud hero, and he was again an amazing athlete in our sport.
So we're starting to get down to the nitty-gritty of this race. 11 gone, so the tyres are bedded in. They're up to speed. No safety cars yet. Will the tyres last a full 100, or will we? Ooh, somebody's gone off into the dirt and dust there.
Yeah, that was big. That's a big one. I hope everything's okay there. I see the tire marks going straight, like towards the tire wall. So just as we were saying, no full course cautions. I'm going to keep a sharp eye on that. Adrian Vlastowski has got the red mist going, because he is just climbing through this field. He's through Eric Caton. He's behind Tom Sheehan right now.
Yeah,
we got a full course caution.
Well, I called that one. That was my fault. Sorry, folks.
No, I mean, I say all the time, I go, if commentators had that much power to curse something, we wouldn't be doing this.
We'd be using our cynical powers more often, yeah. So, that off that you just saw in the distance while we were on board with Chris Durbin, I think has led to this full race caution. That means the safety car will come out. And interestingly enough, Matos, I was about to tell you, Matos had gained a 1.6 second lead over Ben Mayer, and that has now come to nothing, because obviously they will slow right down. That will give chance for Merrill and Mayer to catch up with Matos, and so all the hard work he's put in the last few laps will come to nothing. But that won't worry.
So what you're seeing here too, if you're wondering why everyone's staying spread out but going like the same speed, we have flagtronic systems, safety system inside the car. So some of these panels you'll see around the racetrack, these electric panels, they're giving us, as Jonathan's pointed out, they're right at the flag, so you see the flashing yellow. That's our information boards, but we have the same board on our dashboard.
On the dash, yeah.
And code 60, it tells us if we're over 60 miles an hour. It tells you to slow. But really, this is so beneficial, and this is one of the huge steps that the Trans Am Series has done on a whole for safety. not only for the drivers, but for the track crew, because they know now, all of us, if we are respecting this 60 miles an hour, that the track crew can go out there and do their job. Now, once we know that the track crew is stationary, and once everyone's made a lap or so and seen where the incident is, they'll take the code 60 down, we'll bunch that group up behind the pace car, and we go green. But my hat's off to Perella Motorsport Holding Group, and always looking forward for the safety of our series and the safety of our corner workers and all the people that are involved with our sport, because without the whole group, we just don't make this happen. We see a lot of tires going down the tire wall, don't we, Jonathan?
Yeah, and I think that is because the tyre wall has been, well, we'll find out. Here we go. We're going to see it now. Caton.
So right in front, you want to look up in the screen, far ahead of the screen. We have a broken part in a spun car, and I don't know who that is. Backed in.
I think it's Odrick.
I think you're right. I think Jared Odrick. I don't want to be too speculative, but that looks like it could have been Jared Odrick, and that looked like a possible rear brake failure.
Failure, possibly, yeah, because the car just suddenly jinked. He wouldn't do that normally.
And there's a part left on the track. I saw like physically a part like left on the track. So I don't know what happened there. Wheel hop is really easy to get in these cars, and if you've had a few wheel hops, it could break something back there. And I'm not saying that Jared had that. I'm just saying that the best in the business get that. And Jared is still learning these cars as a rookie, and if he grabbed a couple of those by accident and might have done some stress on that. But I don't want to speculate again. I'm not doing that. But we just hope Jared's okay, and they can fix race cars. But we want to make sure that our drivers are okay.
So we're under caution, 11 laps gone. Matos leads from Mayer and Merrill. Drew still fourth, Casera fifth, Hurley, Mosak, Quapple eighth, and then Annunziata ninth, and Bacon 10th. Let's head down to Ben Sissel.
Hey, thank you. I'm here with Billy Harrison with Fast Auto, Adrian Lostowski. We talked to him at the grid. He started fifth, moved his way up to third, but then I think he might have been spun or assisted at Mission Foods turn one. What's your driver saying to you, Billy?
Well, the cars are good. We're going to be, this caution helped. We're going to be able to get back up a little bit, but we were assisted. Not 100% on how that happened. We got pushed to the outside and took us the rest of the way. But he's fast. He's going to come back.
Yeah, so does Adrian seem rattled as he passes us here, or does he seem pretty calm, like he's going to be able to make this back?
It's hard to rattle Adrian. He's calm always. This guy's, he's like an Iceman, you know. So he's not going to be rattled. He's going to come back.
Nice. I love it. Billy Harrison, nice job. And, gentlemen, I just want to note, that sounds like a true racing aficionado right there. I love it. Back to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, good info. And Billy Harrison, saying, hey, we got a fast car. We got a good chance. And it's going to be an extended caution. And I'm going to ask you, Adam, what that means if you get that information. And why it's been extended is we've got to put tyres. You saw those tyres going out there. Well, we need to put an entire tyre wall together. And so it's going to take some time to do that after this Jared Odrick off at turn one.
Yeah, it's turn three. No,
so turn three,
but that's okay. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, just pause you there, but carry on.
Yeah.
There we see the Odrick car going off, but we've got to repair the tyre wall. That's the key.
And I'm really grateful, too, that Jared was able to back it in the fence because that's the kind of the way you want to go in at those speeds. You're carrying a lot of speed down there into turn three, so really, I think that's fortunate. I think it's a good sign, too, that they're repairing the wall and that we don't see a lot of emergency over there. So I think Jared, we haven't seen it with our own eyes. Cameras haven't caught it, but I'm guessing that Jared has walked out of that. But to your question, this is a high tire deg track, so I could tell you if I was behind the wheel right now, I'm like, breathe a sigh of relief, let the tires cool down. You can see no one's scrubbing.
Right.
You don't see anyone scrubbing throughout the field, and there's a reason for that.
So this is a good thing.
This is a good thing for tire wear and tire deg and what you're going to experience here at Pitt Race. So it's not a bad thing.
Let's head back down to Ben Sissel.
Hey, thank you so much, Jonathan. I'm here with Gil Martin. And Gil, we've kind of all seen this before, but Jake Drew, Connor Mosak, both having really good starts. Jake currently in fourth. I believe Mosak in seventh. What are your drivers saying to you?
Right now, Jake's a little bit tight because on that initial start, I think when everybody got bottled up, Adrian came across her right front, and I think our right front's towed in a little bit. So hopefully as the run goes on, both of our silver hair Chevrolets will come on here late in the run. Because Connor's hanging in there doing pretty good too, so it's single file restart right here, a lot can happen.
Well, Jake has been fast all weekend. I was watching that. He did seem to get pushed out, and then there's a big bump where the next tarmac is, and so that might have done the tow. But, you know, new track, we weren't quite sure how this track would race. Beautiful complex, as you can see, but so far, I mean, that was a great start, and we ran a long time without any incident.
Yeah, it's a great facility. I mean, I was surprised when we got here. It's a really nice place. The track's really smooth. It's a one-groove track, so it's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes.
I love it. Well, if anybody's seen it all in racing, it's Gil Martin with Silver Hair Racing. Gentlemen, back up to you.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting as we send our youngsters to further fields, whether it be IMSA or NASCAR. It's great that occasionally NASCAR throws us a bone, and we got Gil Martin.
I think, and I'm speculating here, but Gil Martin, I believe, was in retirement, and the talent that has been showing themselves around lately, the development and the opportunity for that, he's excited about working with these young drivers, and that's what's really like reinvigorated him. I've been fortunate enough to be around that man since I was like 15 years old when John went to the Cup Garage, and he was one of those figures that you admired. All of his race cars were always fast. They were fast at places that you knew that it was the team that made the difference to make the car fast, not necessarily the driver stepping up and carrying the car. So yeah, Gil Martin being with that silver hair group like he's been the last couple of years has done great things for the program. But the whole group down there is extremely talented. Actually, the depth of talent inside this paddock anymore is not just reserved for the drivers. I mean, we see Nitro Motorsports is full of people that I recognize from the Cup Garage and we reminisce with. And the group that I work with at Ultimate Headers, they're a group that's been in this sport and dedicated their lives to the sport for forever. And so this is what happens here is the talent, the challenge that this series presents. It brings those folks to the surface, and they want to be a part of this, which is special for us.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent, both young and old, both experienced and learning in this paddock, and it's a great environment. We've said it time and time again. If you are interested in coming racing and trying to make it professionally, this is a great place to cut your teeth. And we've got guys like Connor Zillage who, have cut their teeth in Miatas and Mazdas and then have come here. And we're about to go green by the looks of it.
Yeah, lights are off on the pace cars. I can see it go down the back straightaway there. The field is bunching up, and we're going to go green.
So, as you can see, the lights are out now. It's in the hands of Matos and Mayer. Mayer needs a good restart, but watch Merrill on this restart in the Cope blue and white HB Tuners car. Because he's always a good starter. And away he goes. He's right tucked up behind Ben Mayer. Away goes Rafa. Merrill looks to the outside of turn one, gets side by side with Mayer. Can he get squeezed through? Mayer's going to try and hold him on the inside. Around the outside goes Merrill, the former champion. He's vying for second place, but the young Ben Mayer is not giving up. And now it's a three-way battle as Drew joins it. 3 ways into turn 3, and Merrill loses out desperately in that one. Just when I thought he was going to take second, he's down to, fourth?
Taking our breath away, Thomas Merrill. My hat, look at him go. I mean, we thought he lost a spot, but this is Thomas Merrill we're talking about, and it's not over until it's over. And he's hanging in there side by side. Jake Drew accelerating down this back straightaway. He's going to have the advantage coming in here to start what's referred to as the S's, but they drive more like Z's, Jonathan Green. They're 90 degrees.
Oh, no, Merrill's been punted off by Drew. Merrill out of the race. Now, can he keep the engine going? But they were side by side, and I thought Merrill had got up to third, but I think they touched. And either way, Merrill has gone wide and off track. And let's hope he gets it started, because we could be looking at another caution. But major story here. Second in the championship, Thomas Merrill is out in the dirt.
Yeah, that's not exactly what their day needed. I'm sure he's steaming. My good friend Mike Cope back home is steaming on that one. So hate to see that.
So then, 15 of the 36, and we'll probably take a closer look at that. And Adam, I'm going to, as always, let you see your eagle eye. Here we go. This is the restart. Merrill did get away well, and look at this. From here on in, it gets really interesting, because I thought for 1 minute that he got into second place, and then everything changes as these two fight. Drew catches up, then it becomes a three-way battle, and not far behind Tyler Casera, but it comes into three, and it is three wide, and this is what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, this is, so it doesn't happen here, actually. It's at, it's at the S's. This is kind of where the battle all started, and honestly, Thomas did an awesome job on the outside there. What they did, they punched a really big hole in the air for Jake. Jake used that to his advantage to get the run down the inside, and then Thomas recognized that they were three wide, like the veteran he is. He backed out to live to fight another day. Went ahead, and this is him fighting that other day. So he's inside, as you see, Jake through here as we begin the S's. Jake is now just on the corner there and up to the door. That's, again, I don't want to be Tim Richter today. That's two extremely tough calls that involve the same driver. I got a few years back. I got turned in a similar way, and it was deemed a no fault deal because we were side by side, and I was deemed that I should have assumed that we were still side by side, even though they weren't in what was referred to as the triangle of danger. Which is like basically in the driver's blind spot on back, which is where we saw Jake on Thomas Merrill. So there will be a lot of video review. There will be a lot of probably hot heads coming to see Tim at the end of the race, and God bless him. I think he's doing a wonderful job being lunged into that position this season. He's been decisive. He's asked for competitor input. But again, wouldn't want to be him today. This is a tough one.
Shout out to Josh Hurley. He's currently 5th. He's got ahead of Quapple and Mozak, and then Ciata now up to 8th. But Josh Hurley quietly going about his business. He's right behind Casera, an important restart for him. Out comes the Ginetta.
So let's give a shout out to Casera talked about. He's up in the solidly 4th. Let's just say the Stewart's fine. Not appealing to what Jake Drew had done in these incidents, and he gets a penalty post-race. That's a podium position right there that Tyler's sitting in, if you look at it that way. Josh Hurley, what a wonderful addition he's been to this paddock. Blaze Chitta. I've known him for 10 years. I said, finally, just tell me, pronounce your last name for me. I've never heard him say his own last name, so Blaze Chitta. The CS is a CH for us. So Blaze, what a marriage, what a match made. And he's got another car for rent. Josh is a coach that comes part of the program to coach you, and another exceptional coach.
Pandemic E-champion, of course.
Yeah. So I mean, this is a program that if you're looking to jump into this class of racing and you want to hit the ground running, that's a good program to get involved with. That's a program that you're going to have great coaching, have great engineering from Blaze, and from Josh, quite honestly, because Josh has an engineering mind on him. And Barry Bowes was in those cars last year, did really well, and he's made his move over to SLR. Again, he is leading in the Pro-Am, and he is inside the top 10 overall, which is a really nice, impressive run for him.
Well, again, you got to mention Barry Bowes has got a new lease on life. Moving to SLR, he's just a different man, isn't he? He's just vaunted forward the change of atmosphere, the change of team, and the professionalism that he's getting now is really pushing him forward. He's got the Pro-Am to work on in terms of at least every week he's getting a prize or getting close to the podium, if not on it. And there's Merrill's car getting restarted. So Merrill is back out and running. But
fortunately gone lap down.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And that's a real bummer. Another super fast race car. So I mean, what could have been with him and Adrian? So that's another part of the story.
Let's head down to Ben Sissel once again.
All right, thank you very much, Jonathan. Adam, I'm getting a little bit of insight here from Bowser, who's talking to Thomas Merrill in the 26. Looked like a great restart. Everybody was battling it out. What did Thomas say happened, Bowser?
I said the 7 car got into him and dumped him there. He got just contact. It's kind of stupid racing that hard that early. He didn't have nothing for us. When we were running green, and he was just trying to make something happen that wasn't there, obviously. But I mean, now we're a couple laps down. We're kind of out of this deal here. But we worked our butts off this weekend. We were not very good in practice, not very good in qualifying. and we changed everything twice, I think, in this car. We had it tore apart both days, and we got a lot better today. You know, these people here, Mike Cope Race Cars here, you know, we all worked hard and got this thing working, and we just ain't going to have nothing to show for it.
Well, I don't know, because you can never count out the Cope Race Cars team. We've seen it before in Nashville. At VIR, you hammered some things in, you ratchet strapped. So I hear that the car is coming to pit lane. If it's at all operational, will you try to get it back out there and get the points?
Oh, yeah, no, he got it back running now, but we're just a couple laps down. So we're going to bring him down and wipe the screen off and send him back out.
So, Adam Andretti, I'm going to rely on your expertise here, because we saw Thomas. That was Nashville. They barely duct taped the thing back together. He went back out. VIR, they ratchet strapped it back together. He ended up winning the championship because of that. So every little bit counts. So if you can speak to that before we go green, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for that, Ben. Absolutely. It's always about getting the laps and fighting to the very end, and it makes a difference at the end. It's controlling your bad days. Everyone's going to have bad days, and you know, Thomas winning the championship controlled those the best, and you watch that. I watched that when I was teammates with Rafa in his last championship in 2021. Was he controlled his bad days when he had power steering failures? He still finished the race and finished well, like 7th, 8th. Like he said, the Nashville race that year was his race of the year because he had lost power steering and hung on to it and kept a 7th place position. So, yeah, it's super important. And again, what Bowser was saying just backs up what I said at the beginning of the broadcast about what Cope was doing and that 26 car and how proud Mike should be of the group that he has up here, as I know he is, because they definitely turned around what's been a struggle for them for the last couple weekends, and Thomas was showing it, and they showed that great speed. So we're going to be going green this time, as I see lights are off on the pace car, and scuffing has pretty well stopped, and we'll see if Matos drops the hammer again, because basically he's let Ben get a sniff, and then once Ben has shown his nose a couple times, Rafa just drops the hammer and says, "See if you can hang on, kid."
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, never say never, because Lostowski, now currently 11th. Remember, he spun earlier in the race and is already in a very good point-scoring place. And, of course, we're on board with the Ford Mustang. And so we'll be bringing you on-board pictures from him, from the Amazon Chris Durbin car, as well as Adrian Lostowski's.
Yeah, the CMI machine.
The CMI machine, exactly.
Yeah, so CMI, Danny is here. So that's a big deal for them. I mean, they're out of Louisville, Kentucky. So they're kind of my neck of the woods, right? They're only, that company's only an hour and a half or so away from where I grew up in Indianapolis. So it's great to see them in our sport. Great to see them seeing the value of not only this Q3 Architecture TA2 Series, but the value in Adrian and what he brings to them, because he's a great spokesperson, a wonderful driver, and just a wonderful human being to be around.
Keep an eye on Casera and Josh Hurley, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and it's going to be an interesting restart. Away goes Rafa.
Carson Quapple.
Quapple gets a good start, or restart, I should say, and he's all over the back. Mosak, excuse me. Yeah.
Mosak there.
So everybody looking closely now at the restart of this, but once again, Rafa Matos goes to green and gets away well, but they're all scrapping 4 positions behind, including this man, Lostowski.
Yeah, Adrian made some good moves there on that restart, has gained himself, looks like, another spot or 2, so that was very beneficial. As you see, Carson, again, I was right the first time, apologize. Carson is really working hard on the back bumper.
Mosak's behind him, that's
Josh
right.
Hurley, Mosak is behind him. I was watching more time he's scoring than was trusting my own eyeballs in front of me. And then you got Annunziata again, who's climbed through this field at a very difficult track to pass. And he, we're just past halfway, so he's got a lot of race left, because he's gone through more than half the field, so he's got a lot of race left to get through this, and the cautions have certainly helped out his effort in that as well. And then he's got Connor Mosak right in front of him, so I think Connor might have got jumbled behind Carson. I think Carson might have got him on the last restart. So we see Thomas Merrill up here.
And he's got past Durbin already.
Yeah, he's going to fight. He's going to fight through every one of these positions and get as much track position as he possibly can. And
the car seems to be okay.
Oh yeah, no, it was a soft spin. It was door contact, so it wouldn't have got into any of his suspension. The car just stalled and it wouldn't restart. Sometimes these things are hard to restart. We run them really hard, run them really hot. There could be fuel vapor lock underneath there, and that will cause a challenge to restart. Sometimes the battery usages go down during the race, running the stuff, the braking fans and the fans that we have to run, and the driver comfort stuff that we have inside the car, and those things could put a toll on a battery. So when he has to go to restart, he was unable to get the restart done. So it's just horrible luck on that front as well. And you know, it's just gutted to see that their race that was looking so promising go away at, you know, right around that halfway point.
On board again with Adrian Lostowski. He is currently up to 10th now. He's behind Barry Bowes, or it was behind Barry Bowes. And now, as you can see, there's plenty of action ahead of him. So Lostowski trying to get in the thick of it. The man from Brooklyn, New Jersey. And this is going to be a good battle too. Connor Mosack has made it up to Xfinity, and so too Annunziata as recently as last night. And these two are young guns trying to make their way, and both would love to get the scalp. Certainly Annunziata would get great pleasure out of trying to hold back Mosack if he can, and he's up to 8th, but Mosack's going to be a hard guy to get past.
Absolutely. I mean, there's going to, every one of these, you start climbing into the top 10. This field is so deep, it becomes harder and harder to find that position on a track that, again, track position is so important. But you watch Adrian, this has been an inspiring drive back towards the front. And this is where that Pro-Am stuff can get kind of tricky, right? This isn't really this isn't technically a class battle between these two, because Barry Bowes is a Pro-Am, and you have Adrian there going for the national championship. So I think there's a good gentleman stuff there that went on. Barry, you know, that's an overall position for sure, but again, not necessarily in the same fight. So let Adrian go get with the group that he's going to fight with, and Adrian's got a race car, I'm telling you, and he's super talented. He's a guy that you can always trust running side by side with, and I'm excited to see what the next 15 laps brings for him.
Into turn 1 they dive again. The Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, the Q3 Architecture TA2 Series, as we watch former champion Thomas Merrill from 22 trying to get back on level terms. He's making his way through, but it's a long road for sure from the back there, but he's made up a couple of places already, and we're watching high above him as the HB number 26 going through. And this is starting to turn out to be a nice battle too, as Hurley has lost position, and now he's got Mosack and Annunziata all over him, and it doesn't look as though it's going to take long for Mosack at least to get past. And sure enough, as I say that, he goes through on the inside.
It looked like Josh was struggling with forward drive up the hill, which is one of the biggest challenges of this track that I found in the TA, in driving Thompson's car there. He's taking advantage of the open door and getting around Josh to basically follow Mosack right through there. And then it looks like Adrian's ready to pounce as well. But yeah, he was lacking to drive to get up the hill, which is, like I said, one of the challenges here with these cars that we're experiencing on these P0s on both classes of racing. But we see Rafa Matos is, again, checking out a little bit on Ben Mayer, piece by piece, every lap, every time around. He's been
half a second, yeah.
Yeah, he's just been clicking away, little bits of time, nothing huge chunk, but just enough that he's not wearing his stuff out, but he's able to put a gap and cancel any kind of threat that's coming from behind.
Yeah, Mosack trying to use this time to gap himself, but Annunziata under braking certainly as he comes out of Cube 3, 17, gets right tucked in behind his rival, and we'll see if there's a gap, but no, Annunziata has caught that up, and you can see it now as they cross the line again. Nothing between these two, but they are dropping. Hurley is now down to 8.
And I just speak to the precision of these drivers in this class, in this Q3 Architecture TA2 Series. I mean, you watch the approach to turn 1. There's not a centimeter to spare between the edge of the track and the grass.
Yeah.
And every one of them like that. And I mean, I know people that can't.
Whoa.
Hurley. It could have been a little bit of a rear lock up there, because when he went to turn the wheel, the rear.
He's struggling with something though.
Yeah, he's struggling with rear grip. It seems to me. That watching the back end kind of dance, all the way up the hill last time, it seemed to settle right there. But yeah, he's got a little bit of a struggle that he's fighting right now.
Lostowski's got through on him, and again another position lost.
Yeah, it's this is Cube 3 Architecture TA2 class racing. It's a war, it's a battle out there, but out front we've seen just a dominant performance from Rafa. He's shown he's ready to win this 3rd championship, and he wants to win it in style. He's the only multiple race winner this year. When we say there's been 4 4 different winners. He's the only multiple race winner with 2 wins, and he's looking really strong with 14 to go. He's certainly setting the pace for this one. But it looks like these silver hair cars, just as Gil was predicting earlier, Gil Martin was predicting with our Ben Sizzle down there on pit road, that these silver hair cars are certainly coming alive the further we're getting along the race. So maybe they're able to manage their tire deg and do that better going forward. I will say that also about the Nitro cars. What I experienced with them is that their cars were doing really, really well on tire deg, that they weren't dropping a lot of time. So that's why we're seeing this battle being pretty good between the 90 and the 57.
Thomas Annunziata trying to work his way up to get on level terms with Connor Mosack. Their battle is in 6th and 7th at the moment, but it's still Matos, Mayer, and Drew now 3rd. Casera still in a waiting game in 4th, and then Quapple in the top 5. And then we're looking at this battle. Mosack holding off Annunziata. Annunziata didn't have the great night at Sonoma last night. I think he was down in 28, didn't finish, right?
Well, the result doesn't reflect the performance.
Okay.
It's not. He didn't go run with like a top tier JR Motorsports or Hendrick or anything like that. He was with a group that is, in my opinion, and again, I'm not here to offend anybody. Every place on the grid is there, but it's a car that potential is more mid pack, and he was punching above that belt. He was running up there in the top 12 to 15. Before he, and it was, I tell you what, it was like a demolition derby out there towards the end of that one. So he fell victim to that, and he's here performing like we all know him to perform.
Just noticing Annunziata's front of the car. Take a look at that.
Yeah, he got caved in.
He did, didn't he?
I'm going to say that's a restart, probably a little bit of accordion coming up to the restart. That's what that would have looked like, because I didn't see anybody get tossed off track or him move anybody for position.
It's not affecting him, though, is it?
No, something there I don't think would actually negatively affect you, except for airflow into the radiator, so his temperatures maybe a little bit.
Yep.
But honestly, it might be giving a little bit more front downforce, right? It's a little bit of a pocket there right in the center of the nose of the car. So if anything, it could change the balance of the car to make the rear a little bit tail happy. But Thomas is, again, I can't say enough, one of those exceptional talents. So he'll have a good feel for it. He'll know how to drive around it. And he's doing a great job here in P7.
Yeah, and Annunziata's doing a really good job in the second part of the track. When you see them coming into the Cube 317 complex, you'll see Annunziata's right there with Mosack. But in this section and through the S's, he kind of extends away a little bit. But having said that, and look at Annunziata this time. He's right there. This is as close as he's been. And now he's putting real pressure on Connor Mosack. And no driver likes that kind of pressure.
Yeah, and as Tyler was telling us in the track map, the bowl there is a great opportunity, right? Because if you get the drive out of the bowl, it gets you a better run into, like I said, I don't call them the S's, the Z's. Here.
I like it.
Yeah, because they're as you drive them, they're 90s, right? Like usually S's have a real snake-like flow. You think of Road Atlanta, Coda, Watkins Glen, for example. But here it's really 90, 90, 90, 90 the way it drives. So yeah, I've been calling them the Z's. But yeah, great racing here. As we come up over, the basically over the hill there of turn 14, which is probably the trickiest corner here on the track.
And we welcome our viewers back on MAV TV as Annunziata trying desperately to get past Connor Mosack. This, the battle of the race so far, 6th and 7th between these two up-and-coming youngsters. Annunziata having an extraordinary weekend, racing on the other coast at Sonoma last night, then flying with the red eye and coming straight to the car. It was shaken down by my good friend Adam Andretti briefly yesterday, but there's not much you can do in a shakedown. And Annunziata having to start at the back, but he's already all over one of our previous great winners, Connor Mosack, as these two go at it.
Yeah, he was the red-eye Jedi, getting in here last night, or this morning, I should say. And but yeah, it's great to have that energy of a youngster.
Third in Pro-Am, the AMSOIL on board of Chris Durbin from South Hills in Pennsylvania. Great to have the number 25 with the onboard this weekend. And we can see him going about his work in the office. Nice and smooth so far.
Yeah, this is great for him. He's one of those that opted to change more than the one tire allowed to change by the rule, and relinquish his qualifying and go to the tail. He's put himself, like you just mentioned, in good position to be there in the Pro-Am fight. So again, to recap, you got Barry Bowes leading that class. You have Tom Sheehan right behind him in P2 of the Pro-Am class, and then Jim Gallagher showing a great performance. He's taking up the last step of the podium for that Pro-Am, and then Chris Durbin right there taking the fight to Jim Gallagher.
Well, interestingly enough, Gallagher only 20 points off Odrick, and with Odrick going out this weekend, that's going to bode well for Jim Gallagher. He is in 5th place. Meanwhile, Sheehan 3rd, Barry Bowes 2nd, and it's Keith Prochuk who leads the way with 4:46 as we get to the halfway point in this series. Now, Annunziata makes his move.
You know what? That was a Van Ginsberg move, late and committed. And I tell you,
you've been watching Sonoma like me.
That's the kind of move you have to make. Joey Logano last night in the broadcast brought up a great move because he's been studying Van Ginsberg and his style. Because that's what you do when you bring in a machine like that driver.
That's
this is a
just
good
V8
fight
racing,
here.
isn't it?
This is a good fight here between Carson and Casera. Tyler trying to cover up the inside.
Can't do it.
No, Carson has got the run and a little bit of rear lockup, got it rotated and inside because you got to wake up pretty early in the morning to outbrake Tyler Casera.
Yeah.
So Carson's on his game and getting through. So again, can't say enough about this young man's talent, and he's a true racer. The stories that you hear about Carson already are somewhat of legend. Delivering a gearbox at 9 o'clock at night, to a team at Mid-Ohio, and then installing that gearbox and surprising them with that install the next day.
Yeah,
it's something that he doesn't need to do, and not too many drivers out there are skilled enough, like he is behind the wheel, but can also get underneath the car and turn a wrench like that. So, Sheehan. Thomas Sheehan, such a promising day in the grass. Get it fired, and he's going to roll with that Vixen Motorcycles Ford Mustang out of the Cope Race Cars. Not the day Cope Race Cars was looking for, because Tom was kind of carrying the banner for them at this point, and that's probably going to move him pretty far down the pack in the Pro-Am stage of things. Adrian.
What a story.
What a story.
He's 8th right now, behind Mosak. As you can see, we're on board with him on the CMI on board. But what a recovery. What a recovery.
I mean, and we got, I can't leave out that we have a competitor right now that's running 3rd that he's going to be under review, right, from Stewart's review at the end of the race. So all these could be different positions at the end of this deal. So yeah, every one of these spots super important, and Annunziata again getting around Mosak the way he did has been able to set sail, and now you have, I believe, Adrian's going to try and do the same move.
Yeah, I tell you what, interesting how this is going to pan out. I'm really keeping an eye. Josh Hurley actually doing a good job in 9th position. We thought he had some problems, and he did drop back tonight, but he's still going. And as we look at the
flat
Barte,
right front, that looks like a flat right front tire on Michelle.
She slowed right down.
Yeah, right front's down, and it looked like the sidewall that was off, so that could have been some car-to-car contact that cut that tire. So don't know the whole story on that, but nonetheless, not what Michelle was looking for out of the day. And again, through attrition and through just her getting the laps and putting the laps in, she was climbing the ranks of that Pro-Am stature as well. So
yeah, you're absolutely right front is down. Just past our commentary position. Lostowski, where are the good places to overtake? You've been out there, and I'm sure you've been measuring it all up.
Yeah, we basically go into turn 3. The Mission Foods turn 1. We've seen that opportunity, obviously, with on restarts, and if you can get a run through the Q3 turn 17 complex, that sets you up for that turn 1. And that Q3 turn 17 complex, very similar to the bowl, that is turns 5 and 6. But and that'll get you the run into turn 7 or the beginning of the Z's, to get a passing done there. To get something done, out of turn 14 to 16 is super challenging. You'd have to get a great run down the hill there and really be alongside before you got to 16. Otherwise, the risk isn't worth the reward.
Well, we're coming up to that Mission Foods turn 1 now with Lostowski looking for that way past Connor Mosak. They dive in there. It won't be this time. Next opportunity down at the bottom of the bowl, perhaps?
No, he missed. Basically, Adrian kind of missed the entry there. He needs to nail that Mission Foods turn 1, climb through turn 2 to get this run into turn 3 here. If he can steal that inside into turn 3, it's such a tight corner that you can have the advantage here for turn 4. And that takes you down into the bowl to go walk away from it. But if he can get a run up the bowl here, that sets him up for the entry Z, which he looks like he's got a really, really good run going on here. It looks like he's got something going. Can he stick his nose in? Now it looks like being defensive, he made the first move. Closed the inside, Mosack did. Made the car nice and wide in that in that silver hair Chevrolet Camaro. He spent so much time at SLR. I got jumbled on that. I should be doing that this deep in the season there, Jonathan. But nonetheless, Mosack is really enjoying his time over at Silver Hair.
Yeah, he's committed to them, and I thought he was gonna do, like he did last year, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but he's committed.
Laura and Maurice Hall, too, two of the gems of this paddock.
Absolutely.
Just great people. And so I think also it'd be pretty easy to be motivated to want to come race for those two. Super easy. And then you add the group that they have, Jeff Holley and Gil Martin and the gang down there.
Well, they put on their press releases the amount of drivers that have come through and made it all the way to NASCAR, the likes of Chastain and many others. Have all taken part in driving one of the silver hair cars. So it's, Connor Zillage, you name it.
Yeah, and this is looking like a good run coming out of turn 14, for this battle right here that we see going on here between Jim Gallagher and Chris Durbin. Chris really got through turn 14, but he wasn't able to take advantage, as it looked like the 16 Jim Gallagher just had a big lock up here. You don't want to do that to your tire too much there, Jim.
Yeah, that's not going to help, is it?
No, but
good pressure from Durbin. That's exactly what you should do.
Yeah, but again, this is a fight for
Pro-Am,
what looks to be the last step on the Pro-Am podium. And so that's a really special
second and
deal.
third in
Second and
Pro-Am.
third, yeah.
So this is a mighty battle.
Oh yeah, because I was mixing Eric Caton into that, but he's on the national championship. So absolutely, it is first and second, or second and third.
Yeah,
second and third. Barry Bowes is leading.
Yeah. Whoa, and a lock up from Durbin there. We just caught the back end of it, but as we go back to Annunziata, Durbin just locked up. It didn't cause him to go off or anything, but just locked up a wheel there as we just drifted away from him.
And while we've been looking at all this, Rafa and Ben Mayer just said goodbye to the rest of the field.
Yes, they have. And the gap between them is 1.7 seconds. So Matos controlling this race from the front, and that's a lesson for Ben Mayer as well.
And absolutely, and that's what we've seen out of Rafa with the 3 wins he's had this year.
Yeah.
Those are races that he's gone out front and just literally just controlled them. And this is one of the many things that makes a Rafa Matos so special, is he's got that ability to do that. And when it comes down to that, Jonathan Green, that is some rare air to be in.
Yeah, and you know what? These are the days. You talk about two-time champion Rafa Matos. These are the days when you know that your opposition, Merrill, of course, started the day 28 points behind in second place, currently in 16th position. But if Matos can keep it clean, keep it tidy, not worry about the restarts, which he hasn't yet. There's the gap between them physically. You could see now. But these are the days where Rafa Matos will get major points, and we're heading to Mid-Ohio, Road America, places where he always shines. I remember distinctly Rafa going well here as Annunziata and Casera getting together. Annunziata on the run, trying to stop the local man from Manheim.
Yeah, this is Thomas. I mean, this is for the top 5. And he completes this pass, even before completing this pass. Has anybody passed more cars in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series this season than Thomas Annunziata?
And he's done it from the back.
That's what I'm saying. The racecraft of this young man. It's one thing to have speed. It's another thing to have the racecraft.
Correct, yeah.
And he's got both. And that is what makes a driver like him so special. He climbed in the top 5. And remember, not one lap on this track before he got here.
So Matos, Mayer, Drew, your top 3. And behind him, Quapple and this man, Annunziata, who's up to 5th place now, and in what has been a great turnaround for the weekend. Disappointment in Sonoma is turning to sunshine and fun in the sun in Pennsylvania.
I think with 6 laps to go, Thomas Annunziata, I think he'll be able to get to the back bumper of Carson Quapple. Will there be enough time? Will he have an opportunity? Is there enough of his car left after climbing through this field to put on the attack? Time will tell, but here comes an attack. Adrian Lostowski on the 57 of Connor Mosack. This would be for P7.
Yeah.
And Adrian looks like he's got the pace for it.
Adam, you're out later. Are you learning anything from watching in the commentary booth? I know you enjoy doing commentary, but are you kind of keeping a watchful eye on where people are making moves?
Absolutely, and no comment.
Well, you had a tough day.
Yeah, it's going to be it'll be a long day for us as well, just like it is for these competitors. You know, these 100 miles are not easy. This is a super physical track. You're always busy. You're always doing something. And in a TA car, every input you put into them, the amount of power that they have and the amount of braking power they have, the amount of grip that they have, lateral grip, and all that, physically you are under a toll the entire lap. You don't really have that relaxing moment, that time to catch a breath. So yeah, it'll be a big, long, big, hard day for us, just like it has been for these drivers in this class today. And again, always proud of what this series represents and what the competitors represent and how they race each other. It's always fun to watch.
Yeah, I was talking to Paul Menard, one of your competitors, yesterday, and of course, you know, he's got so much experience, and the family have put so much into racing, both as a sponsor and, of course, Paul in his own right. But I was saying, how is he enjoying the sort of arc of youngsters coming in to Trans Am and people like himself coming back from NASCAR? We welcome our viewers back on MAP TV. But yeah, Menard was like really enjoying the fact that, you know, he was able to race in a championship that was fair and fun, but not put the pressure on himself of being in Xfinity or in the Truck Series or in the Cup Series, but really enjoy his racing and also going toe-to-toe with some of the youngsters that are out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new challenge for him, for sure, because he went from primarily oval racing most of his life. Now he's just doing nothing but road racing, and he's up against people that have nothing but road racing their whole life. So he's been incredibly impressive, as he always has been throughout his entire career. I've observed Paul for a long time through the ranks, all the way up through his Cup career, and I say it all the time: a Brickyard 400 champion. I mean, in a stock car and at Indianapolis Motor Speedway is one of the most difficult challenges to face. So to win that race, I think, is one of the most difficult races to win on the year. And that's just my opinion, but I believe that opinion will be backed up by a lot of people that have competed there and tried to take that win home, tried to take home that golden brick that you get to the end of that 400-mile race. But yeah, he's a wonderful competitor, and more importantly, he's just a really good human being too when you get outside the cars, and that's what I love about our paddock. You know, and these youngsters, these young drivers, they're talented, but outside the car, they're so humble, and they're so they're so, you know, well raised. The parents are wonderful as well, and so they brought so much greatness to this paddock, and we appreciate that level of professionalism at such a young age. That's why I say. That's why I get excited about the future of them all, because I can see how bright it is. I've been doing this long enough now to know when you have something special, and we have a lot of special talent up in here.
Lostowski, time running out, 32 off the 36. He's trying desperately to get past Connor Mosack as these two go at it here at Pit Race.
Looks like tires running out, too.
Yes.
Another four-letter T word.
Yeah, no question. Long way, 100 miles. The fuel load is down, and it's starting to show now that the car's starting to get a little bit soft underneath them as Lostowski makes his move. And this is his chance on Mosack as they come out of the Q317 turn and down our straight, main straight, past our commentary position. Hasn't quite done it yet, but he might have another pop into turn one. Mission Foods turn one is his next opportunity.
Yeah, this is a great battle. Really, really great battle between two great competitors here. So excited to see how it ends up here in the last three laps between these two, because really this is the battle we have on track, folks at home, are really with these four competitors that you see on your screen right here, because the leaders are gone. This top three, big spread, but we got right here with this group here a really, really good battle.
Yeah, we talk about the young and old, and of course a little Father's Day early present for Boris Said Sr. as he did his last race ever at Sonoma last night, and of course he's a regular in Trans Am TA, and his son Boris Said Jr. races in TA2. But last night both of them raced together, or at least were together, while Boris did his last race.
Oh, that's cool. No, that's always great stories on that, and love to hear those stories, those personal stories, and yeah, we'll see him. I think all back at Mid Ohio in a couple of weeks. So it'll be good to have that presence back in the paddock as well. And this again, it's shaping up this battle right here. It'd be interesting to see. You know, I mean, it's there's just big gaps between everybody else. So we're looking at these three being the fight that we have for position right now on the racetrack. As Rafa has taken another second. Ben Mayer, P2 again, driving well past what his experience level, in these kind of cars, and certainly his age. Shout out to him, too. He's got an uncle that's celebrating a birthday today, and I'm sure that he's tuned in watching his young nephew out here doing what he loves to do and preparing for his future. But
the gap between Annunziata and Ben Mayer coming into this one was 34 points, so he's going to narrow that gap, is Ben Mayer, with this second place. So there's a lot to be gained. The young guns, 20 grand up for grabs for the guys under 24 years of age.
I'm not even under 24 if you flip my numbers around.
But you won on your birthday. Wasn't that your 24th?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, no, I did.
Adam Andretti winning at Road Atlanta in style in the Burton chassis.
Yeah, that was a really special day. But this right here, this is a special fight.
This is a good one.
This one right here is, again, two of the top competitors within the Trans-Am, Q3 Architecture TA2 Series.
He's trying to force him into a mistake, isn't he?
Both
cars are going off now.
And like they have nothing left. I mean, you're looking at lap times that are 2 to 3 seconds slower than what we started this race at. Everybody's fastest lap of the race was under 10 laps, except for Michel Abate, who again had no tires, came in for tires because of the puncture. So everyone out there on these old tires is just hanging on for dear life, and that's when this stuff gets fun, and this is when the real racers really come to the cream comes to the top right here.
Just to remind you, Matos leads by 2.5 seconds. We've been concentrating quite rightly on this because it is a titanic battle between these two. Jake Drew is still third, Quapple fourth, Annunziata up to fifth, Casera sixth, and then this battle between Mosak and Lostowski for 7th and 8th. Early still 9th, and Barry Bowes rounding out the top 10 and leading in the Pro-Am.
Yeah, that's that whole Pro-Am deal is Barry Bowes is got that thing just dominated, but we still have a fight between Jim Gallagher and Chris Durbin for that second step on the podium. And then you have to go a little bit further down for Tom Sheehan, as we saw that he had that off-course excursion. Don't know what caused that 100%, but we do know that obviously that set him back and took him off that Pro-Am podium, which I know that's going to be a hard one to swallow for him, and as he was really running strong the whole weekend long in that Vixen Motorcycles Ford Mustang for Mike Cope Race Cars.
So then, Merrill not making any more out of this day than 16th. He's tried to side his way through. He made a couple of good overtakes, but he hasn't been able to get any further. And he's not that far behind this battle, but of course there's a lap down, and Lostowski running out of times. This is the penultimate lap of the race. Mosak doing a good job. You've got to take your credit, though. Mosak has done a good job of defending, and that's a hard thing to do when you've got somebody really putting the pressure on you like this.
Yeah, and I mean, and Adrian, I believe if Adrian were to get this pass cleared, you would see Adrian immediately pull Carlos.
Yeah.
He's got speed on Mosak. This is one of those tracks where you can be a second and a half, 2 seconds faster than somebody, and they can still hold you back. You gotta make your moves to be a surprise, and you have to get those runs at the right time. And Adrian, and the white flag is out for Rafa Matos, our leader, and Mayer comes across to see the white flag as well. But yeah, this fight here will continue, and this is where Adrian's beginning the run, is from 14 through 15 into 16 here, and then under the braking. I learned at the end of the race at Nashville last year that Adrian is pretty stout with his brakes at the end of these races, and I believe Connor's kind of learning the same thing.
Yeah, no question about it. He dogged determination from the man from New York. As we look at the Concord American flagpole number 60, got a new sponsor with help from Chris Dyson, and he's just seemingly got a new lease on life with Nitro Motorsports. He loves the way they prep the cars. He loves the atmosphere, and Rafa Matos is about to become a 3-time winner this season.
And it's been awesome to watch Nick Tucker grow his program, right?
Yeah.
Like Nitro Motorsports introduced themselves to the world, to the Trans Am world, when they introduced Connor Zilich to the Trans Am world that year at VIR, where he sat on a pole distinctively and led the first part of that race before they had a mechanical on that car. And I don't quite remember that, but he has grown that fleet he just took delivery of his 9th race car. He has got a fleet of 9 of these Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series race cars. And and look at the talent. I mean, the most common question I got asked all weekend long was what I think about the Nitro cars, and they're great. They're obviously great. They're showing it. They're winning. They're sitting on poles. They're fast. but also the level of drivers that Nick has attracted under the tent, looking at this one here, coming to take this checkered flag for the 3rd time this season, that's it.
Here he comes then, over the crest for the final time, and we're witnessing history in Trans Am folklore, folks, because that is a 23rd career win. No one in the history of Trans Am has more in TA2 than that man, Rafa Matos. He does it in style, back-to-back wins for Nitro Motorsport. Across the line in 2nd place is teammate Mayer, who started on pole, and Carson Quapple will take 3rd ahead of Drew in 4th, and Unciata brilliantly makes it up to 5th. And look at this, Conor Mosak has managed somehow to hold on and hold off Adrian Lostowski, who will following home in style, but these two have been at it all race long. But Conor Mosak takes the line now in 7th ahead of Lostowski in 8th, Hurley 9th, and Barry Bowes in 10th and wins in Pro-Am. But well done again to the Brazilian, Rafa Matos. And, well, he's sponsored by a flagpole, and you may as well hoist that flag high because he's done it very well indeed. Immaculate, wasn't it?
Yeah, Brazilian by birth, but American by citizenship. He was a proud American citizen. He flies that Concord American flagpole banner high and proud. Yeah, he is definitely, everyone that's believing in Rafa Matos, he's making it worth their while for sure with these performances, because that again was just another dominant, just absolute taken to school performance by the 2-time champ.
Yeah, it's full circle for him. He was interviewed by Ben saying that he did some testing in F3 here, and of course he started his world in stock car racing in Brazil before coming out and then taking up Indy. He did Indy Lights and then Indy Car, and then has turned to this kind of racing, and he's never looked back since. So well done to Rafa Matos. And in a moment, Ben Sissel will get a chance to have a chat with our winner.
My buddy Thomas Annunziata gets himself into the top 5
that's
here.
Pretty impressive.
That's super impressive coming from the back. Tyler Casera just jumping in a car. A lot of his practices were disrupted, so he didn't get a ton of laps out there. But he got in 100 miles today. Super important for him. Pulls off that P6. And then we said Barry Bowes, taking the Pro-Am win and also a top 10 overall in this class of racing. And then also you had Chris Durbin. And then it looked like Tom Sheehan may have taken the last top step of the podium in Pro-Am at the end there around Jim Gallagher. I don't know what happened there, but it looks like there might have been a little bit of a mix-up there. And Thomas Merrill, with the speed he had at the end of the race, what could have been?
Here are the highlights then of our TA2 Q3 Architecture race, and almost squeezed out there, Ben Mayer, and it was a good start right at the start. A few spins, including Lostowski going around, but he made it back very well. Odrick went off and then took a tyre wall with him. That caused a delay and a safety car, but a big hit from the former NFL man, but he's used to that. 3 wide, and unfortunately losing out, Thomas Merrill to both going off track and trying to get sandwiched out of that. Then it was Lostowski versus Mosak. Rafa Matos won by 2.5 seconds from Mayer, and a good result also for Thomas Merrill.
Yeah, not the day that Thomas wanted Merrill for his championship for sure, and but it was encouraging for them. I'm sure that they had the speed that they had from the struggles that they've had the last couple rounds out, and certainly, since Road Atlanta, quite honestly. So,
and as we look down high above the podium position, victory circle, the Jim Wheat victory circle, I may add, there's our winner, Rafa Matos, and in a moment we'll be out with him. We welcome our viewers back on MAP TV. It's been a pretty simple day at the office for this man, the Concord American flagpole number 60 from Nitro Motorsports, Rafa Matos, 2-time champion of the series, and heading that way. He started this weekend with a 28-point lead. He'll extend that now as we go into the summer session of tracks that he loves, Mid-Ohio, Road America, Watkins Glen, VIR, COTA, so plenty of great iconic circuits to come. But you'd have to say that right now it does look as though Rafa Matos is back to his very best. He thanks the Concord American flag, and now he'll have a chance to talk to Ben Sissel.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. That Concord American flag pole company race car, 3 race wins, the most winning driver in Cube 3 TA2 Architecture Series. And man, that's got to feel really, really good, Rafa.
All the credits to the Nitro Motorsports team. These guys are amazing. You know, gave me a fantastic car. The Concord American flag pole Mustang number 60 was all in the mail today. It was amazing. You know, I had a good start, initial start. I was able to go around bend, but he kept me honest all race long, and you know, I was pushing really hard to build that gap, and at the end, in the last 10 laps, I couldn't believe how long it took, those 10 laps, but we had a pretty good gap. We were able to manage the gap and win for the 23rd time, I believe, and you know, just hats off to every single person that has been helping us, and my family, my wife, daughter. Love you guys.
Nice, I love it. Rafa Matos, how about that? Ben Mayer, let's come and talk to Ben Mayer over here. Ben, what a race. You know, I know you're also running for the championship, and it looks like you're frustrated to finish second.
I mean, not the result I was hoping for. Everyone wants to finish first, but Rafa drove a great race. That was a tire conserving game, and he ended up to do it better. So his car was much better in the end, and I was all over the place, but hopefully we'll get him at Mid-Ohio.
All right, so give me your review now of Pitt Race Complex.
Great track. I mean, it's one of the most fun tracks here, I think, or in the U.S. It's one of the most fun tracks, just the elevation change. It's not like the other ones. It's kind of its own thing, and I really liked it.
I love it. Well, congratulations. Mom and Dad are here cheering for you. Nice job from Ben Mayer, Nitro Motorsports team. But we got to come over here and talk to Quapple. Carson somehow right near the end able to get past Jake Drew. Scott Lagacy's been bragging about you here for a while, and here you show the talent. Nice job.
Yeah, thank you. It was a really fun experience here today at Pittsburgh. We really seemed to have a pretty good car. Didn't really qualify the greatest, I guess you'd say, but I knew in the race we were just going to have a better long-run car than most of them, and fortunately we were able to stay on track and keep the Scott Lagacy Racing Chevrolet to a good finish.
And speaking of, let's talk to your costume designer here. How was the race for you?
He's not telling you the whole story. We had a failure in qualifying, and he did a hell of a job just to qualify it where he qualified it when we got it back. So special racer right there, and he's a lot of fun to work with.
Now, what you didn't see there, and you don't know this, Scott, but you never pushed Tony's camera away, but he was trying to keep you from getting shots at that because Carson races in all different series, so we appreciate that and appreciate the hustle here at Winner's Circle.
We had a wardrobe malfunction, so we had to fix it real quick.
Awesome. Well, Carson, congratulations. But then we're going to come back through and talk to our Pro-Am people, but I think Thomas Annunziata, let's talk. I didn't get to talk to you at Grid this morning. I watched you last night. I was yelling at the TV all the way from Sonoma Raceway in the Xfinity Series and got caught up in that melee there at 4 and 5. But then here, starting at the back and working your way, was it 5th? Is that where you ended up?
I believe 5th, yeah. I'm not sure where we'll get with penalties, but yeah, 5th.
Nice. Well, I see a little arrow work you did there on the front end, but nice job.
Thank you, yeah. It was hard to pass here, very, very hard. We didn't have quite the car under me. I wasn't here for practice or qualifying, couldn't really set up the car. But these Nitro Motorsports guys did a great job. Adam Andretti did a great job getting the car somewhat in the window. It was a little tight, but I did my best to get around everyone I can, and I think the car shows that just nicely. So, yeah, 5th place, not bad. Trailing in the points a little bit, but 3rd weekend in a row starting last. So I think we've limited the damage that happened over the last couple weekends, and I think we could get a good run in the next 6 weeks.
Well, I think he is our cool box move of the race. But Jonathan, Adam, I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth.
Well done to Thomas Annunziata, and of course thanks to Adam Andretti, both here in the comms, and as you heard, Thomas thanking him for setting up the car. But confirmation of the results of our Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series sees Rafa Matos with another historical 23rd win. No one has more. Ben Mayer, 2nd, disappointed. Carson Quapple quite happy with a 3rd place. Jake Drew in 4th. Annunziata in 5th. Casera, the local man, in 6th. And Mosak under great pressure from Lostowski, but holds on to 7th. Lostowski 8th, Hurley 9th, and Barry Bowes rounding out the top 10, but winning in Pro-Am. Then further down, Eric Caton, he's in the National Championship, and then the next of our Pro-Am is Chris Durbin. He takes second. Sheehan in third after that spin and off. Then it's Gallagher 14th. Abate Merrill did make it up to 16th, but that is nowhere near where he wanted to be, second in the championship at the start of the weekend. Caleb Bacon 17th, and Jared Odrick hit the tyre wall, but can take it. He is a superstar of NFL. Now, we were talking about cool moves. Well, let's take a look at our cool box. Coolest move of the race. And, well, Annunziata on Casera. And you can see Annunziata just turns it nice and tight, and that is a classic overtake. Casera giving him room, I may add, but really not really left with much to do. And Thomas Annunziata starting from the back, making it all the way up to fifth. No question about who is our coolest man out there today. He gets the cool box coolest move of the race. And as you can see, all the cars that are going to be on the podium are now gathered, and we've got the photographers down there, and in a moment we will get the podium underway. And of course it's a bumper day here, so don't go away wherever you're tuning in, because we've got more action to come from SVRA, and we've also got another big feature race as Trans Am, the big 850 horsepower muscle cars, as well as the production cars, go head-to-head in another 100-mile race. And if you haven't got time to watch that, well, don't forget, Thursday nights is your Trans Am night on MAV TV, because from June 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern, TA2 starts at 8 p.m., as you can see, and then TA at 9 p.m. So plenty of great action. What else can you do on a Thursday night? What would you want to do on a Thursday night except be right in front of the telly watching MAV TV? So just waiting for the podium to get underway. I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful day here in Pittsburgh. We were expecting rain, at least overnight anyway. It never came, and so I'm probably cursing it now by announcing it. But yeah, pitrace.com. Go there, have a look at what they've got to offer. Great kart circuit, great track days, great opportunity to learn about racing, and a great technical track to do it at. And, yeah, it's in the heart of the countryside here in Pennsylvania. And talking at the heart of it, Ben Sissels, right down there in the winner's circle.
All right, Pittsburgh Pit Race Complex. Let's get loud. The Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. There we go. I like that. This is going to be a party. You just witnessed history. This is the first time the Cube 3 Architecture Series has ever raced at the Pit Race Complex. An unbelievably beautiful, really well manicured, really fun racetrack. But one thing we didn't know is how it would race, and we just proved that with an unbelievable race. Did you guys enjoy that race here today? Nice. I loved being up on Spectator Hill, seeing all the spectators. That was a lot of fun. We are going to start with TA2 Pro-Am. And now listen, we have a hometown person up here on the podium too, so you're going to have to get really loud for him. But right now in third, let's hear for the number 97, Tom Sheehan. Now we have Nick Middleton here with Cube 3 to present the trophies. We appreciate that. The owner, CEO of Cube 3. How about a round of applause for Nick Middleton? Nick, we talked. We were both kind of wary on how this track would race, but, man, we kind of proved today. Unbelievable track.
Race number 6, that was an awesome race for everybody. Everybody knew, didn't know what they were coming in for today. The weather held out. We were expecting potentially a wet race to start with, but everybody did a phenomenal job, and we look forward to coming back potentially another year. This is a great race. Thank you for everybody attending today and all the competitors.
Nice. I love it. How about that? Nick Middleton, Cube 3 Architecture, supporting the series, but from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, sporting almost a terrible towel color car. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Second place, Chris Durbin. Chris, nice job. Chris did have to come into pit lane and brush off the grass and was able to come back through. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday. Megan is wearing her checkered pants. Check that out. That's her good luck pants. And Barry Bowes on the top step. TA2 Pro-Am. back on the top. Nice job. Megan, it's got to be the pants. So Tom Sheehan, it's got to feel pretty good up here. I feel like from what I saw, you kind of got punted twice in that race, but still able to work your way back up to the steps.
Yeah, it was a little elbows out there. It's tough to find good spots to get it done here, and I knew it would be that way, but yeah, not what we wanted, but pretty good day, not bad.
Anybody you want to thank?
Oh yeah, I want to thank the Vixen crew. They're up at Laconia Bike Week this week. Big show up there. They're having a blast, moving a lot of merchandise, getting a lot of press. It's great, and I want to thank the guys at Cope, Jamie Obie, Mike Cope, Travis, all the guys, my crew chief Noel, and Matt Romanowski's indispensable. Very smart man.
Nice, I love it. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Tom Sheehan. Now, no pressure, but the other guys in your stable over there, Mercurio and Walker, had an unbelievable race with us in SVRA. They put the pressure on you at your hometown. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Chris Durbin, hometown guy. And then, Chris, how was your race out there?
Good. Did pretty good. We kept it clean. You know, had a little off-track excursion, got some grass in there, but managed to bring it home.
A little sightseeing?
Yeah, you know. Western Pennsylvania in summer. What are you going to do, right?
I love it. Now, I'm sure you have some people over there you want to thank because I saw that car coming in hot.
It came in hot. Thanks to my Flying Wrenches crew, my family. Some are here at home watching. AMSOIL, SuperoilPro.com. New this year, hometown sponsored, 90racing.com. So for all your racing gear and race-related stuff. And JRI Shocks, Howe Chassis, PME Engines.
Nice. How about that? Chris Durbin. And then Barry Bowes. You know, Barry, we've spent a lot of time together this year, and it seems like you've kind of run into some bad luck. I'm so glad to see that is away from you for the rest of the season, and you're back up here on the top step.
Oh, yeah. After about the third race in a row, when something broke down or I had bad luck, I said, this has got to end. By the seventh race that it happened, I said, it's really got to end. And finally, the streak is over, and it feels real good.
Nice. I'm sure you want to thank some crew and possibly a lady for wearing the good luck pants.
You know, without Megan and her checkered pants, I wouldn't be here today. Yeah, obviously Osseo Data, who was my primary sponsor, TRB Autosports, who helps me out in the West Coast Series and getting ready for this stuff. And of course, M1 Race Cars, the entire team. Carson Quaffle for coming out and driving as a teammate with me and helping me out this weekend. You know, we all work together and put it together.
Nice. I love it. Well, come on, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's get loud. Tom Sheehan, Chris Durbin, Barry Bowes. And look at this. We've got some Cube 3 Architecture Stress Cubes to throw out. Oh, we're going to get the 3 out. And then, so get loud if you want a Cube 3 Stress Cube. Throw those out, gentlemen. Let's see who's got the arm. Who's got the arm? You can throw those out. There we go. Look at that. Come on now. And if you want to throw those Sunoco hats, you can do that as well. All right, Pittsburgh. One more. You want to throw those out? There we go. Boo! Sheehan. Oh! Almost landed on his head. That would have been amazing. Look at that. Lauren ducking out of the way. All right, Pittsburgh, get loud. TA2 Pro-Am with the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. Tom Sheehan, Barry Bowes, Chris Durbin. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? I did go out of order. Tom Sheehan, Chris Durbin, Barry Bowes. And I believe all of you are old enough for champagne. All right, Pittsburgh, one more time. How about that? Tom Sheehan, Chris Durbin, Barry Bowes. Oh, they're just going to look at that. Oh, no, there they go. That was a little bit of a fake out. Looked like they were going to be gentlemen about it and then just went at each other. Nice job. Good luck to Vixen Cycle Company there at Daytona Bike Week. Nice job, everybody. Thank you guys so much. We good, Chris? All right, how about that? Pro-Am. The TA2 National Series. Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. First time the National Series has ever been at Pitt Race Complex. Doing this in just the last few laps over Jake Drew. Huge re-welcome, finishing third, Carson Quappel. Taking third place just right at the edge of the race. Man, I'm glad you're fast in a race car. Nick Middleton handing out the trophies. In second place, Cube 3 Architecture TA2. He got pole at his first race just a couple weeks ago at Worldwide Technology and won that race. Was on pole here again. Ladies and gentlemen, second place, doing so well in the points. 15 years old, Ben Mayer. Look at that. We've got some Ben fans out there. I like that. Nitro Motorsports, Ben Mayer with Nick Middleton. Man, he is really turning it on. The most winning driver in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series adds another tick to that with 23 wins in this series, currently leading our points championship. And he knows how to win a TA2 championship. He's done it twice before, this time with Nitro Motorsports, American Concord, American Flagpole Company. Let's hear it, Rafa Matos. So, ladies and gentlemen, Carson Quapple, first time here. You can see we had to kind of duct tape some patches on here. I love it, but man, unbelievable hustle out there. You just kept climbing and climbing. And where were you finally able to get Jake Drew?
Yeah, he was able to. We were able to catch him kind of throughout that long run there at the end, and kind of ran him down within striking distance, I guess you'd say. And he got him locked up going into 3, and I just got a good run off of turn 6 on him, and just climbed the hill better than him, and was able to get to his outside and complete the pass. But just was an overall great day for us. Qualified not too great in 10th, and just really had to just stay on track and learn as much as we could, while also obviously trying to drive up. And can't thank all the guys at Scott Legacy Racing for giving me a great car, and Chevrolet, Scott Speed, and Josh Wise for giving me this opportunity to come out here and run. But it was a lot of fun.
Nice. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Carson Quapple, unbelievable. Congratulations. I love having you back in the series, too. Ben Mayer doing so well. I love seeing you. I was up on the hill watching a little bit with your mom and dad. I know, and it's weird, you get out, you finish second, and I could tell by your face, not the result you wanted. Usually people are pretty happy with a second place.
I wasn't bummed out, but I was bummed out. But it's not the worst result that could have happened. I could have not finished the race, and that wouldn't have been very exciting. But that was great race. Rafa took advantage of the start, and because no one has been here before, so no one knew how it was going to race. So he took advantage of the start and got out front and just led the whole race. Took care of his tires much better than I did, and I was all over the place in the end. And I just want to thank all of my sponsors, BOE Marine, Garmin, my parents, the whole Nitro Motorsports crew, my brother, and Nick Tucker for helping me, Rafa, and also Tyler Casera for coaching me to make me fast.
Nice, I love it. Thank out to the brother, too. Now where's Parrott? Where's Parrott? Because last time he didn't come to a race, you won. So what are we doing here now?
I wish I could have won for him, because I won for Ron at Worldwide Technology, but I'd like to thank him as well for just working on my car for the past races this season and making it fast.
Nice. How about that? Now, ladies and gentlemen, 23 wins in the TA2 Series. Another win here, third this season, I believe. And then top of the points, Rafa, this has got to feel good.
It feels great. All the credits to the Nitro Motorsports guys. Nick Tucker and Johanna Tucker, they did an amazing job assembling this team. There's so much talent in the team. Every single crew chief of the team it's very experienced, very talented. They prep 6 very fast race cars this week, and I believe for Mid Ohio we'll have 7 cars. So it's a massive effort. So all the credits to the team. A big thank to our sponsor, Concord American Flagpole Company, believing in this project. PME engine, Sabelt, RI helmets. It's a proud moment for the team. We're halfway to the championship. It's an important moment. We got to keep pushing, and I truly believe that there's the big picture. It's a championship, obviously, and that's what we're working on. And hopefully, baby steps, step by step, we'll conquer our third championship here.
Nice. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Hold them up high and proud. I'm liking this crowd, Pittsburgh. We're going to get louder, though, okay? Can we get louder? Come on now. Yeah, we're going to do this. Hold these Cube 3 Architecture stress cubes. Augie, you and your family, they have fun? Nice. I love it. All right, come on now. Get loud. Carson Quapple, Ben Mayer, Rafa Matos, Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. All right, you can throw those things out if you want, or if you want to keep them. If you're stressed, you can. Ben throws it at his brother, not to his brother. All right, and you can throw out those hats if you like, or you can keep them. Who wants a hat from Rafa Matos? Oh, there we go. I like that. Right at Chris, too. All right, Pittsburgh, come on. We're getting to the last chances here. Let's get loud. Carson Quapple, Ben Mayer, Rafa Matos. How about that? Aaron Creed, do you give this a thumbs up? Great race. Nice. I thought that was a fantastic race. We love being here at the Pitt Race Complex. Unbelievable track. So we do have, an underage driver up here that is not allowed to have the champagne. But let's see what happens. Oh, a little cheers from Rafa. You going to be gentlemen about it? Oh, no, he's going for it. Oh, look at that. Come on, Pittsburgh, get loud. Quapple right into the eyes of Rafa Matos. Nice job, guys. Okay. I don't know what's happening up here, but there's some apologies for something that happened a few races back, so that's kind of cool. So, Chris, we don't have the watch, but I need to mention Rafa Matos is our Omologato fastest lap leader. He gets a free Omologato watch, so how about that? We don't have the watch, sorry, Rafa. You guys are actually excused. Nice job. Legacy, that duct tape held up pretty well. Nice job on that. Add a costume designer to your resume. Here you go, Carson. Hand that out. All right, so, yeah, you're good. You're excused. Thank you. Our cool box, cool move of the race. This is a cool story. The first race lap grid is the first time this gentleman has been on the track. Adam Andretti was testing his car here for him all weekend while he was all the way over at Sonoma Raceway, Sonoma, California, racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Then he made it all the way here, had to start from the back, moved his way to, I believe, 5th place. So our cool box, cool move of the race goes to the number 90 of Thomas Annunziata. I don't know, did you teleport here? How in the world did you get here? Stand up on the top step, Thomas. First of all, give me your review of Pitt Race, the little bit that you got to see it, and then tell us about how you came from the back to work your way up.
Well, first of all, I want to thank my sponsors, Decorator Unlimited, Bayshore Mortgage Funding, and Chip Boys, and Nitro Motorsports. They gave me a great car. Yeah, the track was cool. It's not the raciest track. It's definitely difficult on tires. I was out of tires at the end of it, but it's fun. You can really take advantage of people when they mess up the first part of the chicane, because once they do that, they have no line through the rest of it. So definitely cool experience. 6-hour flight overnight. I'm definitely tired. If I'm stuttering over my words, I'm on a lot of coffee and energy drinks right now. I'm struggling to stay awake. But fun race yesterday, 150-mile NASCAR race. Another 100-mile race today. I think we more damage limitation in the championship. It's our third weekend in a row, starting last, but we'll get it together soon. We're not too far behind. We got 6 races left. So I want to thank my guys at Nitro Motorsports for helping me out and giving me a great car. And thank you to the fans here at Trans Am, too.
Nice. I love it. How about that? Thomas Annunziata. Nice job. Well, Thomas, congratulations. One thing I want to say is I watched the race last night, and talking about the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series as a great driver development series, I believe in watching we had 3 in the top 5 last night at Xfinity moving their way up. So that was really cool to see. Big congratulations out there to Doug Peterson, 3-Dimensional Group, and Austin Green, who had a great race there last night. Jonathan, I'm going to send it back to you in the booth.
Thanks, Ben. Great stuff, and congratulations to all our winners. But a great weekend finished off there by Thomas Annunziata. And that concludes our coverage of TA2. But don't go anywhere, because we're coming back at 1:30 Eastern Time. That's our local time here in Pennsylvania, where the most powerful 850 brake horsepower Trans Am cars of TA will be in action, presented by Pirelli. But until then, stay with us. My thanks to all RMAV viewers. This is your Trans Am station.
Kind of proposes things, and he rockets by Sima. There's Boris said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
And look at this now. Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, look out.